Alrighty, hey guys, we're back for another mobility session. I'm here with Shen today. We're just going to run you through a really gentle, really sort of relaxing full body stretch and a little bit of mobility work. So where we're going to start, we're going to come up into a downward dog. So hands go to floor, feet come to floor, send our hips up and back, and we're going to let our chest sort of melt down towards the floor. You can see that Shen has her heels pretty close to the floor here. If you're not as mobile as her, that's so fine. What you can do is you can soften your knees, and that's going to let you get your heels a bit closer to the floor. Perfect. We're going to take a couple of breaths here and just kind of relax, take stock of where we're at in space. We want our lumbar spine or our low back to be somewhat neutral or pretty close to neutral. We don't want to be super rounded through there. And then from here, we're going to come into a high plank position. So we're going to drop our hips, take our chest over our hands. We're going to step our right leg forward outside our right hand. Cool. We're going to drop our back knee to the floor. And then we're just going to spend a little bit of time in this position. This is what we call a lizard. Perfect. And if you're mobile like Shen here, you can take your forearms down towards the floor. If you're not quite that mobile, you can prop your forearms on a pillow or on a yoga block. However you can make yourself comfortable is more than fine. We're going to spend 2 or 3 breaths here. We're not going to spend a huge amount of time in each position today because we're going to try and get through a few more positions and kind of work our way through hips, low back, mid back, and maybe some shoulder stuff as well. Okay, from there, we're going to step that right foot across to our left hand. There we go. We're going to let it fall out to the side. So we're going to let that shin come down to the floor for a pigeon. Beautiful. And then we can relax into that big stretch through the back of our right hip and the front of our left. Perfect. So Shen's got her hands and almost her forehead on the floor. If you can't get there, that's fine. Hands can stay flat on the floor with our chest upright, or we can have elbows on the floor. Wherever you're comfy is more than fine. We just want to take a second to take stock and think about our breathing. We want to be breathing deeply in through our nose for a count of at least 4. We want to hold at the top for 2 seconds, and then we want to breathe out for 2 seconds longer than we were breathing in for. We want to repeat that process. In for 4, hold for 2, out for at least 6. Alrighty, we're going to spend 1 more breath in that position. And then we're going to make our way back to our downward dog. So we're going to step that foot back, send those hips back nice and high, lengthen through hammies, lengthen through lats, lengthen through our spine. Alright, and then we're going to step our left foot through outside our left hand. Beautiful. Right knee can come to the floor. And we're going to spend a little bit of time in our lizard pose. So you probably can't see it on the video, but Shen's got her left foot quite wide. That's fine. Wherever your foot and your hip are comfortable for the bottom of your squat type shape is more than okay. So if you like a narrower type squat, that left foot can be closer to your hands. If you're more comfortable with that leg out wide, that's more than fine. Alrighty, Shen, because she's flexible, can make her way down to the floor. Those of you who can't, that's fine. You don't need to be that low. We're going to spend another couple of breaths here before we then move into our pigeon position. Alrighty, Shen's going to take that left foot across to her right hand. She's going to let that shin fall out to the side. And she's going to fold forwards over that. Big stretch through the front of her right hip and the back of her left. She's going to breathe deeply and she's going to kind of relax and try and soften into that stretch. Let her hips open up. Okay, we're thinking about our breathing while we're here. We're trying to breathe deeply into our diaphragm. Trying to have our diaphragm, I suppose, do the work of breathing, so our belly is rising and falling, not our chest. And we're just trying to do things slowly today. Alrighty, Shen's going to make her way out of that slowly. What she might do is roll onto her bottom and sit down. So kind of, reverse on out of there. She's going to set up on her back, making herself nice and comfy. Alrighty, right hand's going to go out to the side. Right leg is going to go down flat. Left one is going to come up in front of her and she's going to roll. Actually, both hands can be out to the side. She's going to roll that left foot across, towards her right hand. Beautiful. What we're looking for here, or what we're kind of aiming for, I suppose, is to have our left shoulder and our left knee on the floor. Shen can't quite get there. That's so fine. All we want to do is take that right hand, put a little bit of pressure on that left knee and kind of add to the twist a bit. Beautiful. Same thing again, we're going to spend a little bit of time breathing here, trying to soften into this stretch, embrace it, I suppose, and let ourselves move a little bit deeper in before we then go back the other way. Now, symmetry is a beautiful thing, but most of us won't be symmetrical side to side. So if you have a side that's tight, that's fine. If you have a side that moves really well, that's fine. Most people do. And that isn't necessarily going to get to normal, and it doesn't need to be normal. A rough guide we use is within about 10% side to side, but if it's not quite that yet, that's okay, right? So we want to pay attention to which side. Yep, Shen's going to make her way back the other way. We're going to pay attention, I suppose, to which side is giving us more feedback, which side is tighter, which side feels better or worse. But we're not going to get too caught up, I suppose, in worrying about if they're not 100% even or they don't feel 100% correct. So this twist, while we're here, we're getting a lot of lumbar sort of involvement, or like lumbar being low back involvement. Where we're going to go next is a bit more for our thoracic spine, or a little bit higher up the chain, or our mid-back. Now how we're going to do that, when we've got one leg down flat like this, we're allowing the bones of our back, our low back, to twist. How we're going to take them out of the equation is Shen's going to make her way onto her side facing her left. Had to think about that one, but we're there. Beautiful. She's going to take her knees up towards her chest. She's going to put her hands right out in front, both of them, and she's going to lie flat like this. Beautiful. She's going to take a big deep breath in and reach her right hand across over the top of her left, forwards. And as she breathes out, she's going to go up and back, opening right up through her mid-back. Okay, cool. Now she's going to come back to that starting position. We're going to tweak a few things. So Shen's going to take her knees as high as they'll go, which will be very high because she's mobile. Perfect. When we take our knees up towards our chest like this, we're going to stop our lumbar spine or our low back from rotating. Now what she's going to do is she's going to reach, as she breathes in, her right hand over the top of her left, and then she's going to open back up. And what you'll find here is that your low back's going to move less if you keep your knees neatly stacked on top of each other like she has, and you'll see that her right hand can't quite make it to the floor. Perfect. We're going to breathe back in and reach over the top, and then breathe out and roll back. We're going to do 3 more of those, so a total of 5. Just gently working on some rotation, trying to get our mid-back working better. If you sit at a desk for work, which is the vast majority of people in the world, your thoracic spine is probably going to be stiff and tight and not moving as well as we want. So this is a really nice one to undo some of the ill effects, I suppose, of your desk job. Once Shen's done 5 of those, she's going to make her way over onto her right side. Perfect. So swapping sides, same thing, knees go up nice and high, hands go straight out in front. We breathe in, we reach past, and we breathe out, and we roll right over and back. 5 of those, breathing at our own pace, trying to stay nice and comfortable. Alright, we're going to come onto all fours next. We're going to have our hips stacked over our knees. We're going to have our shoulders stacked over our hands. Then we're going to walk our hands out in front. Beautiful. We're going to keep our hips, don't let those hips creep forward, Shen. We're going to keep our hips over our knees. Perfect. And we're going to sag down towards the floor. We're going to tend our chest towards the floor. And I'd like you to try and keep your gaze out in front if we can. This is going to test you if you have a tight thoracic spine. So Shen, we can see, is very flat through her mid-back. She doesn't get much extension, and that's okay. That's not a bad thing. That's just how her body works. And I suspect, going off her facial expression, she's a little bit uncomfortable here. She has very mobile hips, but her low back is not as, her mid-back, sorry, is not as mobile as her hips, and that's okay, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to try and breathe deeply here. And for this one, this is the only one where I don't mind you breathing into your chest a little bit more. So our breath can be a little shallower and a little faster. We can try to have our chest rise and fall. And what you're probably going to find is at the top of the in-breath here, if you're breathing with your chest, you're going to be quite uncomfortable. And that's okay, right? So nice big deep breath in for at least 4 seconds. Hold at the top, and then slowly breathing out. And as we breathe out, try and sag a little bit further into the floor. Now, if you're a woman and you've got boobs, you're probably going to be on the floor. If that's not comfortable, a rolled towel or a pillow is fine. If you are as flat-chested as I am, you'll probably find that you may need to throw some sort of support on there if you're stiff. I can't get my chest anywhere near the floor, and it does actually compress my spine a little bit to be hanging on there, so I like to pop a pillow or a towel or something under there because I have a negative A cup. All right, Shen's gonna make her way back to all fours and then kind of just gently come down and lay on her front. Beautiful. She's gonna pop her forehead on her hands, and we're just gonna breathe deeply into our diaphragm, kick back, relax, and spend a minute or so just kind of parked on the floor, chilling out. We're just going to enjoy this position, this breathing, thinking about how we've done something nice for our body today, done a little bit of work to undo some of the torture we put it through day to day, whether that be working out or sitting at a desk or slouching on the couch. And that is going to be us done for today. So you can make your way out of that position whenever you're ready. You're welcome to hang out there for a little bit longer. And thanks for coming along. Thanks to Shen for stretching for us and leading us through that. And we will see you all later in the week for another session.